Hey, Dirt Fam, welcome back to another episode of Drama in the Dirt. I am your host. If it's your first time here, my name is Michelle, and I just talk about the shit that nobody else wants to. I talk about the real life shit that everybody goes through, everybody can relate to, and I like to try to put a funny spin on it usually because who wants to take this shit seriously when it's already a serious topic that everybody goes through and relates to? And I just like to soften it up a little bit. So, for today's podcast episode, I want to talk about what happens after. And I'm talking about after you fall in love with somebody, what comes next. I'm talking before the babies. I'm talking marriage. Okay, let's talk about weddings because I strongly feel weddings can be so overrated. I feel like everybody takes them so seriously, and it's supposed to be honestly like the most important day in your life. I'm going to talk about mine and my husband's wedding, for example. Okay. We got married in August. It was August 27th. I always get it mixed up if it was the 27th or 28th. But, anyways, this August will be 3 years we've been married. Honestly, we didn't have much planning. Like, it was kind of funny because we were engaged, yes, but we never talked about actually when we were going to have the actual wedding. I, like probably most of you, was sitting thinking, like, are we even financially stable enough for me to take your last name? Like, is this in our budget right now? Can we afford this? And the reason I think so many people think of that is because you see the people that are financially stable and, have money to save and play with. And, they like to plan big, huge weddings. And big, huge weddings are so beautiful. Like when I was a little girl, I wanted the big, big wedding. I wanted to do it on a farm, have hay bales for seating. I wanted to do it at a really nice barn. And it was going to be beautiful if I imagined it correctly. Okay. But the one day I was sitting playing on TikTok and I already bought my wedding dress and my after party dress. I had it for I don't even know how long. And I'm just saying I did not spend a fortune on it. I totally am one of those people. I ordered mine from Shein. I don't even care. Call me cheap. I don't care. I maybe paid at max $10 for my actual wedding dress, and I'm pretty sure I paid $7 for my after party dress. They were super freaking cute. I was obsessed with them. I loved them. They fit me great. It was awesome. The only thing I struggle with is I am a super short person. I know you might not be able to tell, but I am super short. So I was outside and I put the dress on and I made a TikTok, and I also bought my veil from Shein because hello, budget friendly. And to be honest, for a dress I'm wearing one day, I didn't want to spend upwards of like $500 on a dress. Okay. It'd be different if my kids were a bit older, like my daughter, I could have passed down to her. But by the time she's old enough and gets married, and by the time, like all that time, I'm gonna have to try to keep it clean, keep it from getting wrecked, and I can't do that. Like anybody that knows me, I'm surprised I'm wearing this white jersey right now because usually they'd be stained already. So anyways, I was outside playing on TikTok. I put on the dress, I put on my veil, I made a TikTok to it, and I ended up sending it to my husband. And he's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, like I just wanted to put it on and then he goes, let's do it. Like, how much do we really need to get married? And I'm like, what? Like, we're doing this. So, our original plan was we talked about how we need an officiant, we need our marriage license, which was totally fine. We reached out to my friend's aunt who does officiate weddings. She actually did an amazing job. She was super accommodating. I loved her and I know her personally, so it was kind of nice. It wasn't like awkward or anything. So we decided, yeah, we're going to do this. We're getting married. We sold our one four-wheeler that we had. We traded the one four-wheeler we had. We didn't sell it. We traded the one four-wheeler we had because my husband ended up finding a old LeBaron car. Okay. It had the thick fabric seats. It had like a bandana styled headliner. It was freaking amazing. I fell in love with this car. And we always said that when we were driving off from our wedding, we would do it in an old vehicle. Mind you, like we always thought it would be an old truck or something that would be cool. But when we found this car, my husband's like, we're doing this. We are getting it and we are driving away from our wedding in this car. So that was budget friendly because we didn't add any cash or anything. It was just a straight trade, something we had for something we wanted. And he brought it home and it was amazing. It was hilarious because I had a freaking sticker on the back of it that said the Pussy Wagon. And when I looked this car up on TikTok, okay, it actually had a video of it passing somebody and it was a song saying the Pussy Wagon has arrived. Like it was fucking hilarious. So, we secured that. And our original plan was we were like, why don't we just invite like my best friend, her fiance, and there are witnesses. And then that's all we were going to do. Like we weren't going to have anybody else at our wedding. We were going to do it small at the town park. Like we were doing super budget friendly. And I don't know what hit us. I don't know if it was like the guilt that I was feeling about my dad thinking like, well, that's the only time my dad's going to get to walk me down the aisle. And I didn't want to miss that chance. Like I don't ever plan on getting married again. So it kicked in. I said to my husband, I said, listen, I think maybe I should tell my mom and dad. I can't invite my dad and not my mom. And I said, they can like stand with the kids and stuff, like keep an eye on the kids while we're like getting married. And I said, we'll just still keep it really small. Oh my God. I went to my mom and dad and we had the wedding planned. It was a week from that day. Like literally we planned this within a week and did it. And I went up to my mom and dad and I looked at them and I said, well, Dad, I said, are you going to walk me down the aisle in a week? And they just looked at me. And I said, I'm getting married. Like, we're doing it. So, of course, my dad, if anybody does know my dad, he is super antisocial. Like, he keeps to himself. He usually doesn't go into grocery stores or anything. Like, he stops, pumps gas. That's pretty much it. He'll hit the drive-thru of Tim Hortons because he lives off of Tim Hortons coffee. But super antisocial. So, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And he has a hat on constantly. Like he wears a ball cap and he does not like to take it off. If like one of the kids are playing and they like flip it off on purpose, we tell them, we're like, you don't mess with a guy's hat. Like you just don't do that. And my dad will like put it right back on. Like he doesn't take any chances of anyone seeing him with his hat off. So anyways, yes, of course, he agreed to do it. He didn't seem excited, but I think deep down he was because they came to the wedding day. He took his hat off. He walked me down the aisle. He was dressed nice. Like it was crazy to see my dad like that. Like I was not expecting it. But anyways, after we invited and told my mom and dad about it, we started to feel guilty because we're thinking about like all the people in our family that we didn't want hurt that they didn't get to come or that we didn't say anything. And we thought of like our grandparents and stuff that, might not ever get the chance to, be around for a wedding or whatever. So we ended up inviting everybody. We invited everybody. Okay. We invited my husband's parents. We invited his grandparents. We invited his aunts, his uncles. And let me tell you, his aunt and uncle, like his one aunt and uncle, they have a really nice Mustang and they let us use it for pictures after. And it was amazing. They are such nice people. Okay. Anyways, I don't necessarily think my husband's parents were maybe thrilled about the idea. I know that when I first got with my husband, he had a son from his previous relationship. And to be honest, I, as a mom now, understand why they were the way they were. But in the time, I didn't have any kids and I wasn't bad with kids or anything. It's just I didn't have any of my own. I think they were more nervous about the fact that, like, if I wasn't going to be around for a long period of time or forever. Like, they didn't want to introduce me to him and, him sit and get attached to me and then me all of a sudden leave one day. But let me tell you, this kid stole my heart. He is adorable. He is so grown up now. He is now 11. And I can't believe that when I first started coming around, he was only 2 years old. He was only 2 years old. So that just boggles my mind. But it meant so much to me that he got to be there too. I do have two kids. I have a daughter and a son with my husband, and that's our children. And, they love their big brother. They know he's their big brother, and he just doesn't live with us because the living situation is different. And I couldn't ask for a better stepson, if I'm being honest. I don't even refer to him as my stepson. I just call him my son. But for detail purposes of this podcast, I will explain it. So anyways, yeah, the wedding was super fun. When the wedding was done, we told her, like the officiant, we said we just want something super, super simple and super sweet and super short. Like, we don't want a big, huge, long wedding. So went to our local park. Daddy walked me down the aisle and we got married. Afterwards, we did pictures with everybody that was there, and then we went up to the one. It's not like the prettiest parking lot in town, but it was, what we were working with. So we took our old car up there. My husband's aunt and uncle brought their Mustang up there for us to do pictures, and my best friend and her fiance came up with us because my best friend did the photos. She was in some. My husband's sister was also there, and she takes beautiful photos. So she took the camera whenever we wanted, like, my best friend in the photos and everything. But anyways, so after the wedding, we, did pictures, left in our car, and my husband booked us a hotel for the weekend. That was fantastic. We honestly had a lot of fun. We went to the hotel room. We went to the mall, did some shopping. We ended up going to the casino, which was honestly a really bad idea. I hate casinos. We went in there and each said, like, let's just spend $50. We've never been to this casino. Like, let's just each spend $50, see where it goes. I don't know what the heck my husband was thinking, but he accidentally hit max bet and he did 2 spins. Because I don't know what it was set on the first time. But anyways, he didn't realize he hit the max bet button. He hit it. And he went to hit again. And it wasn't working. He looked over because he was watching me. And bam, all his fucking money was gone. He had nothing left. And he won nothing. So that was great. I was paying attention. I got to spin quite a bit. It's just we didn't win any money. So we ended up getting so bored in our hotel because we're so used to having our kids that the next day we actually ended up coming back home to my parents' house because they were staying at my parents', and we picked them up and brought them down to the hotel room with us. Now, this hotel room has like an indoor pool and everything. It's huge. And we knew the kids would have a lot of fun. And to be honest, like, we're not used to being alone. So we do enjoy our alone time, but we weren't prepared to spend the rest of the weekend alone. It was just super boring, and we just wanted to bring the kids and let them have some fun. So we did. They had tons of fun. And honestly, I will never forget my wedding. I think sometimes I sit and think, like, I wish we would have put more planning into it. I wish we would have made it a little bit bigger. Like, I wish we would have put, more into it. But I honestly had everything I wanted. I got to marry my best friend. I had all 3 of the kids there. I had my dad walk me down the aisle, and it was great. I loved it. But that's what I'm saying is, you don't need to be so nervous about weddings. We spent under $500 for our whole wedding. The marriage license isn't that expensive. The officiant, depending on what officiant you go with, is either not too expensive or they can be pricey, but it all depends on your preference of an officiant. If you already have one and they're well known, then you're probably going to be spending a bit more than you would like. But honestly, it's still worth it. I'm not saying it's not. Now, my best friend, she is getting married, and it's super exciting. I have never been an actual part of a wedding, like the wedding party. This is my first time, and of course I'm the maid of honor. So I am super excited for her to marry her fiance. He is super sweet, and then we all go out together. We have lots of fun. It's really hard for my husband to get along with people because, like, people just piss him off really easy, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that. But anyways, there is like 48 days until the wedding, and let me tell you, I'm not even the bride, and I am extremely nervous. I am nervous because I am, of course, the maid of honor. I have to come up with a speech to say. I want to, do something special for her so that she can remember her big day and have something tangible to remember her big day. And although she's going to have a beautiful, beautiful ring on her finger to remember, I want her to be able to have something to, look at or listen to or something. Okay. And it's stressing me out. I'm not going to go into detail because I'm sure she will end up listening to this and I can't let her know what I'm doing at all. But I am super excited and I have been working really hard on my speech. I was going to do a rap, but come on, if I try to rap at her wedding and fuck it up, I'm going to feel so bad. So we're just going to stick with old-fashioned speech. But anyways, I've been working really hard on it. I think I have it down to a T now. But I am so super honestly excited for her. This is her first actual serious relationship. They're getting married. They were friends before they were together, and I just adore them. I really do. They also, for their wedding, aren't doing anything super crazy. They are having the ceremony, which is just having like their close friends and family and keeping it small. And then the after party is where everybody was invited to. Now, between them, we're going to do pictures, and I'm sure like other people will come and join in for the pictures and everything. But honestly, they are having a decently sized wedding and a decently planned wedding, and they are not going into thousands and thousands of dollars of debt just to do it. Okay. I don't think you should have a wedding that puts you in debt. Everybody wants that huge dream wedding that, could end up in a fucking magazine one day. Okay. But in all reality, it's not for everybody else. It's for you. Like, it is for you and your husband, and it's your guys' big day. So I don't think it needs to be some big magical, huge thing. And like my husband's sister, for example, like she had a beautiful wedding, and I mean a beautiful wedding. It was in a field. It was beautiful outside, and the officiant was super funny and relaxed, and he connected with everybody, so that was fantastic. I think that made it so much better. And she looked absolutely beautiful on her wedding day. And honestly, she's been through a lot. So she married somebody that treats her good, treats her right. And I am so damn proud of her because she deserves it. She deserves everything she's getting. They finally just had a baby. They had a baby boy. And he is the sweetest, like the absolute sweetest. He's got big blue eyes. And he is, honestly, I adore him. I love him. But yeah, I just don't think weddings should stress you out. I think if your wedding is stressing you out that bad, then you need to sit back and think, like, am I doing this for everybody else or am I doing this for me? Obviously, you want it to be pretty for your pictures and stuff, but just do it for you. Don't worry about everybody else that's going to be sitting and watching or attending. It's for you. It's not about what, your cousin's brother's sister likes. Okay, it's about you. I'm really excited for after the wedding to come on here and talk about it, because I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun when me and my husband and my best friend and her fiance get together and we go out to like the bar. We went to our first bar with them. We always have a shit ton of fun. Like, we don't have to worry about each other getting in trouble. We all, like, there's 4 of us, so like my best friend and my husband, they aren't much into dancing and stuff. So like me and my best friend's fiance, he likes to dance, and we're like jamming, and then we're like, okay, well, we're gonna go dance while you guys sit and play pool. Like, we always have someone with us. It's nice. It's comforting, and you can go out and have fun without worrying about something happening behind your back. Okay. It's just, I love going out with them. We don't even have to go to a bar to have fun. Sometimes they bring their karaoke machine. We go out to the garage. We sit and drink and sing karaoke, and we have the time of our lives. Okay. Which honestly, last time we did, my best friend got a few videos of me and her fiance singing songs together on karaoke, and I watched them and I thought to myself, oh my fucking God, I thought I could sing when I was drunk, but I clearly cannot. I just think I can. So if I'm ever drunk or intoxicated around you and you bring out karaoke and we start singing, don't make fun of me. I'm just having fun. I now know that I am not very good at singing, and it's just fun. But yeah, I guess the whole point of this episode is the fact that make your wedding you. Don't revolve it around anybody else. It's your big day. And don't think you have to spend a fortune to make everybody else happy. If you can do it budget friendly and be completely content about it, or go elope, for fuck's sakes. Like, don't sit and think you have to have the biggest wedding of the town and everybody needs to be talking about it. Because honestly, I know nobody gives a fuck about what everybody else thinks. It's about you. And if you're not enjoying your day, how is it even your day? But I guess I'll wrap it up there. If you have a wedding story or like, something tragic or like, if a family member ruined your wedding or anything, make sure you DM me on my socials with the stories. If you are watching from YouTube, they will be at the end. If you are listening to me on Spotify, then go search my socials. I will put them in the description of this podcast episode so that you can find them, and DM me with your stories. I always keep them confidential. I always keep them anonymous, and nobody is going to know it was your story. You are just going to share it with me. Okay, Dirt Fam, stay dirty, stay drama free, and leave the drama to me. For next week's episode, I'm hoping to get in touch with somebody and actually have somebody come on with me, but it is no guarantees because that's going to take a little bit of planning, and if it can't happen next week, it will happen soon. Okay, see you next time.